Hey guys, what I'm going to teach you today is our pistol squat. Now, asking you to do a pistol squat all the way down to the ground with a kettlebell is quite an ask. It's extremely demanding. You need great strength. More importantly, you need great mobility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a sequence so you can actually get to that point. Because single leg squats are an incredible exercise. They're amazing because you sort out any asymmetries in the body. They're great for your balance and proprioception, and they're just great for your movement biomechanics. Everybody should be doing them. So I'm going to take you from the very starting point along a continuum to the hardest progressions. Now, if you work on these for each stage for a few weeks, you'll be able to move on and up the continuum to do the next exercise. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a reduced range of movement pistol squat. I've got a bench behind me. You might use a weight bench, doesn't really matter, and you're going to have a little bit of support. So you're going to help the balance out, you're going to decrease the range of motion, your chest is high, eyes looking straight ahead, good knee tracking, and up, and really squeezing those glutes and finishing it off. That's essentially where we want to start with our pistol squat. Now what we can do from there is we can actually remove the support. So my progression has gone to removing that support, working the balance a little bit more. As you can see, there's that instability and then coming up. That's one of my favorite ways of starting the pistol squat. The other way that we can do is actually using the suspension trainer. So it doesn't really matter what it is, whether it's a TRX or a crankit strap. What we're merely using this is for support. Now, the trouble here is most people want to pull themselves up and they'll turn the movement into an upper body row. We want the legs working. So my little trick here, start with maybe 2 fingers, okay? Come down and come up just with 2 fingers. As you progress, move to 1 finger, so therefore you're actually pulling up less, okay? That adds a lot of extra stability and it really does help. So we can start with either of those. Once we're kind of accomplished at performing those movements, we can then increase an extra range of movement. So I can actually grab a smaller box, get rid of my support now, and I'm still going to do the pistol squats just down that little bit deeper because this is where most people have their troubles. Okay, so coming down and then up. You really want to control your eccentric phase, pause, and then come up and extend straight through. Okay, so that's your next progression. Now the next area I like to go is really to help take some pressure off the hip flexors, off the elevated leg. Okay, and we can do that 2 ways. Because coming straight out here and holding this up, very demanding through rec fem and particularly your psoas as well. So we can stand up on the box, 1 foot, come down to a full range of movement, but it's not as demanding through here and come up. Okay, that's one way of doing it. The other way is that actually to have elevated, the heel elevated, so when we come down, that's a little easier through that leg as well. Okay. Once we've got that, we can now go down to depth, but we're going to use a softer ball to get a little bit of bounce, use some of the elasticity off the ball to help us in that upwards phase. Because getting up from that low point is where people find it most difficult. All right, so if I just get this ball just sit nice and still, bring it over, get it in the right position, I'm going to come over, bounce, and use that elasticity in the ball to help me propel upwards. Once I can accomplish that, we're now ready for the kettlebell. Now the kettlebell does a couple of things. It will actually make the balance a little easier than body weight, but you've now got that extra weight from that bottom point. So in some respects, it's easier. In other respects, it's harder. So you'll find that out once you get to that point. Now we can rack it up. We can go simple 1-hand asymmetrical rack squat, chest up, try to stay as upright as possible, and up we come. Okay, that is our kettlebell pistol squat. One of the other variations that I didn't mention because it's already been shown by Tarek in the deck squat series is actually doing a deck squat into a pistol squat. That forward momentum can help you get up in that bottom phase. Once you become really accomplished, it's now the sky's the limit on how far you take it. That, for most people, is going to be challenging enough. But if you do want to take it further, we can double the load, okay? So this is really very demanding. and is going to ask a lot, even from your fittest clients and athletes. So here, down, and up with a double rack squat. Now, it's not to say we can't take that any further still. We can really add some shoulder load, really test out the stability and the mobility through your thoracic and shoulder by putting the bell up overhead and trying to keep it up overhead whilst performing your pistol squat. So you're down here, that's going to want to come forward and come up whilst you're doing it. Now, there's no reason why we can't double load that as well. And then, as you'll see in your manual, you can even do a plyometric pistol squat. So coming right down and springing up. So really coming down here and leaping up and actually jumping onto objects as well. There you have the pistol squat series, starting right back with the bench and support, all the way through to overhead and explosive plyometric pistol squats. Enjoy.